Welcome back to the Tide Hanger. This is Mike, and today I want to talk to you about the Action Goken Godmars 6 combination. Yes, this does combine into a much bigger, well, slightly bigger figure by Action Toys. You know, the ones that were making some GoBots for a while. But getting into this, I did get this at Gundam It. I'm going to have a link down below where you can get yours too. The set's like 220. It's something different that I've never handled before, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to check it out and to see it, and because it combines, so there is some level of transformation to this. But we'll take a look at this whole set here, and it's pretty high quality. There are a few things I do want to point out as we go, though. We'll get into this and more coming up. Here is the box. It's quite colorful, shows all of the characters on it, and there is that. Then on the back, shows the characters again, and of course the combined mode. But the interesting thing is, inside of the box, you have a couple things. You do have all these accessories, and evidently it comes with a stand of sorts, and then instructions, and it's also got another box, which is interesting too. So very reminiscent in a way of how I would expect to see like a Voltron kind of styling of a box. A lot of similarities here. So here it is right out of the box, out of the packaging, and as you can see, kind of set up pretty much how it's going to combine. We've got the main one in the middle, we've got the legs, got the arms, and then this one here. So this first one is Gaia, and I'm going to refer to the packed in stuff they got going on here for the names. They've got it all nice and easy. I like it when they make stuff easy for us, somewhat in a way color coded. And this guy right here is kind of cool. Now this is my first time handling any Godmars stuff. There was a vintage one I saw a video of somebody did, and you know, got 90 right there, probably 360 at the shoulder. There's a vintage one. There's some other ones. There's this old Chogokin version, which is going to, of course, be bigger than this one. So there's other stuff out there, but this is interesting because you get this guy's basically going to pilot that when it comes together. Feels like Voltron in a way, but still different enough to call it its own thing. But there's a little bit of articulation with this guy. So it's an interesting kind of thing. Now, the reason I picked this setup is so that I can have a Voltron 2 looking thing. Now, this doesn't really match Voltron 2, but it's in the ballpark in a way. It's good enough for me. But let's get into look at the rest of these. So this one's Gaia. Let's look at the next one. The next one is Uranus, and I'm going to tell you this here. That's size scale, so the pilot and driver is almost the same size as this dude. Look at this dude. And with that, these don't have a ton of articulation. So the points I want to point out, there's a couple of points I want to point out. First of all, the fist was kind of off and loose. And for this one, for both the arms, had the same fist. The right fist was loose, and I had to kind of put it back on there. And then there is some nice silvery paint to the face here, and he's kind of roundish. He does turn into an arm, and he's going to make a pretty good looking arm once we get into all of this fun stuff and do all of that. But he's got quite a bit of paint on him, and the arm has no die cast in it. The legs have die cast, the arm none whatsoever, which is fine. So how a combining figure should be. Does have hollow leg syndrome, but I do believe most people are buying this for the combination. So the individual bots they really did take some liberties with the individual bots, plus the fact that it really looks like the thighs are on backwards, but they're not, because I looked at the picture. It just seems like the thighs, I mean, the knee articulation would be better backwards, but I don't know. It's just the way it looks, but that has part to do with transformation. But overall, pretty good looking little figure. Small guy. This is kind of the equivalent of maybe Red Lion. Next up, we have Titan, which is kind of funny because Titan is a small one, another small one, the same size as Uranus, because he's the other arm, and considerably different look to him. Now, I did have to find his fist. It fell off in shipping, but now since I put it back on, it's holding on pretty good. You do have some nice paint on him here and there, still all plastic. It's great. Pretty clean from the back overall. He's square all over, like blocky, where the other one has some round curves to it. But I do think he looks like a pretty cool little figure overall. I mean, articulation with the head and the shoulders, bicep swivel, 90 there, waist swivel. Oh, they both have waist swivel. And then not a lot, like I said, not a lot going on. They could have done knees a little bit different than they did. You can't get that up that high, the waist, and there's no thigh swivel and some ankle rocker. But there's not a ton of articulation, but more than, I guess, more than you expect for the size, I guess. This does kind of scale like Legends. So this arm feels about like a Legends figure. We'll get into size comparisons here in a bit, but there's Titan, Little Titan. This is Shin, and I'm sure there's a reason why they call him Shin, but he's a leg, and he's called Shin. That's interesting. I'm sure you're like, Mike, you got the meaning all wrong. You don't understand this franchise, and you're just like, duh. But I still think it's really cool and interesting. He has die-cast feet. I'm still unsure if this feels heavy, like die-cast, but I don't know if it is. I know the feet definitely feel the cold in so the exterior of the feet are die-cast. Really great paint. Feels really high quality in this figure here. Much higher quality than the arms did, because of course die-cast has that feel, that real feel of the die-cast. And then articulation. Now, I did pop this piece off, messing around with, because it's going to transform. You have to take that off when we transform it. And I didn't get it back on secured right. Anyway, head side to side, up and down, up, way up, down, 360 on the shoulder, bicep swivel, 90 there, no hand opening or anything, waist swivel. And they actually, I think this one has an ab crunch. Like, you can tell right here how it would ab crunch, but I'm not exactly sure. I'm not gonna stress it. But I can tell it's supposed to do something with an ab crunch there. Either that or I'm just messed up in the head on that. Thigh swivel on this one, which the arms didn't have a thigh swivel that I found, unless I missed it somehow. I don't see how I could have missed it in the arm figures. But we are very limited in where the hips can go. They can go out the side. We can very, very limited on the hips. The knee's a bit limited because of this piece here. You can get that out of the way and go further, but you don't really want to. That's super breaking up the sculpt kind of stuff, but still pretty good looking figure overall. Same articulation for the next one. Let's take a look at the next one too. You'd think they would name this guy Ankle or something, but he's actually named Ray. No, Ra, R-A, Ra, like God Ra kind of thing. Still cool looking figure overall. Interesting head sculpt they have going on with him, and I kind of feel like a little bit of Egyptian vibes here, but I don't know if that's what they were going with. This one is different because it has some translucent here, and I think this one had translucent just in the chest piece. That's kind of cool too. And then all the same articulation. These open up for the transformation. Still really feels high quality. You can feel this definitely feels die-cast, both these pieces. And up here, like right on the sides, it may not be, but it's got that nice super cold touch to it and feeling really good. Hands, they just do a little bit on a ball joint. These didn't pop off. The ones for the arms popped off, but there we go. Let's get into the main bot. This one is Sphinx, and definitely going with some Egyptian stuff going on here with this guy. But he's a good looking figure overall. It's weird. Literally, he doesn't have feet. Unless I'm doing something wrong, he doesn't have feet. He just, like, the knees is where it stops. And you've got him, and we're going to tuck away his arms and get a new head out for his transformation. So not much going on with him, but he's got a bunch of hip flaps here so that he can have some articulation. His articulation is literally going to be, well, he does have a knee, so he can do that. And really tight ratchet out because he's going to have to support all that weight. I don't think you get ankle rocker with it, so you're suffering from basically just you got thighs for legs, and that's about it. And they did include a knee articulation to it, but it's still kind of cool. I want it for the combined mode anyway, so this isn't really a big drawback to me. Let's get into some comparisons. All right, for comparison time, we have Masterpiece Optimus Prime. So definitely Masterpiece Optimus Prime towers over them. And then Legend Scale Prime over here feels like he's kind of in their world. This feels sort of in between an arm and a leg. So feels like Legend Scale kind of. But I don't really think there's much else to compare it to until we get it combined, and then I'll compare it to a few different Voltrons so we can see the size and scale. Alright, transforming the arm. I'm going to be a little unconventional about this. I've done one arm. We're going to do the other together, and we're going to open this up, flip this head around, fold it down, and into there. This is going to come up. We need to fold the hand in like so. Bring this, got to get the joint just right. Bring this in just like that. Same thing over here. We're going to bring the hand, has got to be folded down and to the back. And my biggest concern is the hand falling off. It is a point, an issue. Let me get that pop back on in position. I do like the fact that once it's in here and transformed, it is going to hold the hands in there fine. Open this up, fold out the connection point of the arm, and then we can proceed, get these elbows as close together as we can as we proceed to close it, and then we will finish it out by closing that up. Then we get down here into the legs, fold up the feet into itself, and that's good there. Next, they want you to spread this stuff out. I don't really think you got to spread it as crazy as they say, but what we are doing is making room here for this to this connection piece that has to go in there. So as you see, we're going to shift the hips all the way forward, and then we're going to bring in this connection piece, and it's going to be the finished looking side is going to go to the outside, which is smart. And then you got to kind of shimmy it past this hip piece, so it's a little tight, but once you get it in there, it'll be fine. Or if you can be like me and just pop it off at the ball joint, then you're like me and you popped it off at the ball joint, which I did not expect that. All right, anyway, now what we're going to do is fold this back, and as you can see, there is a slot here to tab into this piece, so it is parts forming, and then you close them up to tab them in, because he's like in a seated position. And then there's a tab right there that's going to go in, and it's accepted into a slot right here. And so this is a little tricky. Well, it's much easier on this one than on the green one. And they transform exactly the same. The green and the white one transform exactly the same. Now you're going to bring in the fist, since this is the right hand, the right fist, and pop it in here. And the cool thing about this is you can swap out the hands when we get to that. So I already did the green one. We're going to do the same thing with the legs, and we're going to do the torso. All right, let's do a leg now. So we are going to do a whole lot of twisting and turning on this. Open this up, and then we're going to bring this piece comes out. And I guess it's parts forming for later. Fold the head to the back. We're going to fold it down into here. And then from here, we're going to do a lot of twisting and turning. So the goal on this is we're going to collapse this down and have the hands down. And then there's going to be a lot of twisting and turning to get this down. And we're folding this all around so that this will fit into here. This piece here collapses. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. The instructions are just kind of weird on how to get to this point. I just figure the goal in mind is more important to me than like the weird steps that you have to go through to get here. But then there that is. Collapse this down. And then we fold this up into place. And then this comes up there. And then want to make sure that we got the hands out of the way, clearance for this combining section. So there's plenty of space in there for it to combine to the leg. Now, we're going to just close all of this stuff up. Then we're going to open these side panels. And what we're doing is we're shimmying this down. In some way, combiner worsing it down is a term that's been utilized. We got both of the legs. We got to get onto the torso now. Get onto the torso. We're going to open this up. We are going to bring the arms out. Flip the head around so we can have the head. And then we're going to have to do some stuff with the arms. So we're going to make this other side look like that, except the opposite. So what you're going to do, we're going to spin it around to where we see this. And then we have to push this into here. This is going to collapse. And we are going to have the fist in there. This goes into this slot, and this pushes backwards. Now, when we close this up, there's a little movement here in this, and got to make sure that they're just right to close it up. There are tabs here, here, and slots here and here, and you take that down, and that goes in, and here, and then we are ready to combine this bad boy. Now, one thing about this, they did show you can connect the fists down here for storage, which I did not do, but it's a thing you can do. You can connect the fists for storage down there. We're not really going to bother with that. All right, so let's get with combining it. This is going to be the right leg, and it just clips in place. We can do the other one. You can see what it looks like from behind, and there it is. So we're just leaving all that in there like so. Get his hip flap straight. Then green arm is his left arm. Oh, come on, it's supposed to pop in easier than that. Now let's get at a better angle. Okay, so the green arm is his left arm, and his other arm would be his right arm. And then there we go. There he is. And all of his grandeur. Hard to get them all. He's actually a pretty good sized figure overall. And there he is. There he is. There's Prime. We're going to have a look at this guy, and then we're going to do some comparisons and all that fun stuff. All right, here he is, all transformed up, and he's got gimmicks galore we're going to get into with this guy. I've got my paws all over that. It leaves some fingerprints. It's a pretty nice paint job overall. Looks really good combined. And yeah, let's just go ahead and flip this guy around in the back. Let me see what he looks like from the back. Very clean, as you would expect. See here if we got that in frame there. But yeah, it looks good. Clean from all angles. Good looking figure. Just kind of feels like it fits in a Voltron world. Even though it's not. Godmars is its own thing. It's kind of like between Voltron and Robotech kind of animation. None of it was really dubbed in English. It was just subtitles. But let's get into looking at his articulation real quick. Then we'll get into all of the fun gimmicks. All right, let's focus on his face. There's his face. It looks good. Good looking head overall, side to side, up and down. Wow, it kind of pops up to go up and down. Oh, I knocked that off. Probably don't want to hold on to that as you're articulating his head. That pops off. I think go down, and then you can put his head back down, so that's nice. He's got a transparent mouth piece there, and you can kind of see a mouth in there. Feels all smooth when it moves, too. It's like smooth. And then his shoulders go up. He's got two butterfly joints. So there's a butterfly joint in this main piece, and then an additional butterfly joint in the actual arm itself. So double butterfly joint, and it popped out. I probably am not sticking it in deep enough there. It goes up to a 90, and as you can see, it could go in further. I don't know why. I feel like I don't want to go in that deep. I don't know why. It probably should go in deeper than that, though. But nice butterfly, bicep swivel, double jointed right here. So, I mean, as an actual action figure, it does pretty good. Hands, these are just the fists it comes with. We'll get into the other hands, but it's ball jointed, does all the ball joint stuff. Waist swivel, and it does have an ab crunch. Again, I wasn't sure. There it goes. There it goes. There's the ab crunch. And it's not a lot, but it's there. Then pull a skirt up. We're gonna be doing some stuff with a skirt later. So it's frictioned out to, if you can get it past the skirt, you can get it past the 90, but at least the 90. And then it goes forward all the way and then back only so much. Yeah, well, I'm not gonna risk it. Thigh swivel right here works good for me. That's all I need. And then the knee is double jointed. So it's kind of got it's got the shin knee, because the knee of the original figure, but I think really you're only expected to use the main knee. You can get a little extra if you want. And then you've got the ankle rockers, a lot of stuff with the feet, and you get a little bit more because you have the articulation of the original figure. It figures, yeah, pretty decent. First gimmick involves this guy. So we open up this. What am I doing wrong here? You open it like 4 times during transformation, and then open this up, and then open up his hip flaps, and open up this stuff, and you're gonna see that you can fit the figure in here. Probably more graciously than I can fit him in here. So this driver can pilot this thing. Now we'll bring it down on him. Come on, get your hands in there. This is why it's important to make sure all that parts were pushed back. There we go. Then we're gonna close that up, and then close all this stuff here up, and all that up, and yeah, we got a pilot in there. We just know he's in there. We can like do a little peekaboo. There's your legs. We know he's in there, so we can sleep at night. Next up for hands, he does come with, it's real easy to swap, 2 of these slapping hands, or just open splayed hands as, oh, see, I should push this in much harder. But, oh. Give it your all, Mike. There it goes. There. Splayed hand. Then the other hand is going to pop up and be a weapon holding hand, which... Did I grab the wrong weapon holding hand? I'll be back. There's the right one. And then we're going to put his sword in his weapon holding hand. And there it is. Now, I'm not sure why you get 2 hilts. I don't get it, but you get 2 hilts. Anyway, there's his sword, and it looks pretty good. Him holding it, it looks fine. Elbow, there we go. And let me see if I can get this. There's a nice looking sword, really nice. So make sure you do hold this sword by the hilt when you put it in a hand. I think I bent my blade here, so I bent it back. Hopefully everything's okay with it. Anyway, let's get into the next accessory, and that's this. So it comes in 2 parts, and well, this doesn't want to come out. You plug this, it's a hologram maker or something, or just not hologram, but it's just the symbol, the light maker, and it's an effect, whatever it is. I'm not familiar with properties, so it's kind of cool though. It's supposed to be like projecting a Voltron symbol out there. I think it's supposed to be a shield or something, but quite interesting that it does that. Very interesting overall. Fun little, easy to put on there and just use. And then if you didn't notice, I did swap these out. I say you just open this up like we were putting the guy in there, and then pop it out from the back with the little tabs. Is the way I got mine out, so that might be helpful to people trying to get their little, I don't know, belly button piece out. So next up, we're gonna look at the stand here. The way to get the stand to work, you do have to take this back tab off of the stand, and then slide in the stand, and then clip it in place. And it does have a locking mechanism, so I want it right here, I want it right here, and lock it in. I want it right here, lock it in. probably, we'll just go with straight up and down, see how that works. Then you have to put this, it's a brace. He has a stand diaper to wear. So that's a thing in here. Slide this up and it's going to clip to his waist piece. Then everything's going to fold down except the very back is going to still be exposed somehow. So I went ahead and popped this back flap off. I don't know if you're supposed to or not. It'll just pop right back on. It's not a big deal. Sliding this up, you can lock it in place with him in the air. And then, of course, you want to get him in his pose. I don't know, something like this. He's floating. It works. Gets the job done. I'm really not sure how I should have done it with keeping the flap on. Probably the instructions showed, but there it is. His stand, it works. Gets the job done. But I don't use stands much, so I'm not really sure how many people love the stand aspect of it. Now, for size comparison, here he is next to the very first, I mean, they call him Popey, but the original Voltron, that's Matchbox Voltron, and scale around the 11-inch scale. So this is around the 9-inch scale, around 10-inch, and you can see. And I was like, well, I want something to look like it's filling a gap for Voltron 2, but still it's something new that I've never handled before, and something that's just kind of fun, a new world to get into. And looking it up, I do feel like this size is about the same size as Voltron 2. So it's my belief. I might be wrong, but I did some looking around, looking up, and it just feels about that size. Maybe a little shorter than a Voltron 2, but with that scale, it fits what I wanted out of it perfectly for this size and scale. Would I have rather been the exact same size as this? I would have rather had that, but that's not what we're getting with this. And in all reality, it's probably better this way. But there it is, and it's shorter than Optimus Prime. And you say, Mike, that's a bad angle. What angle should I shoot this from? Okay, you're right. Yeah, that's a better angle. Yeah, that feels more kind of like what you see in the pictures and how they have that forced perspective with the larger lower legs and all that kind of stuff. I can get with that. Alright, so this has been my look at the Godmars Action Toys version of 6 combination figure. It looks really good. It is a nice looking figure, painted very well, does have some die cast in the right place for a combiner in the legs, a little bit in the torso. Really good looking figure overall. Fits what I want. I want something that looks like the missing Voltron I don't have, and it is going to fit that gap for me. Probably in a bad way, it's going to make me want to get that Voltron eventually, but I think it looks really cool. It is from something that I've never even heard of before, the Godmars. I looked up, watched part of an episode, don't have a whole lot of experience with that one episode. It wasn't translated, didn't have translated into the text, but not in the dubbing. Anyway, it does a lot of cool things. I really like this front shield thing they did. Just a really cool idea. Not sure why it's a thing, but it's a cool thing, and I would like to see that incorporated in more figures. Also, the fact that it's got really good articulation for what it does. The transformations are a little odd, in my opinion. Should be a little more simplistic than what I would think. And there's a bit of parts forming that's never, ever bothered me. Will probably bother some people. Overall, fun little addition, 220 bucks. Did get this at Gundamit.com. You can get yours there too. And let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Remember, TH and support your reviewer if you plan on picking one of these up or anything else at Gundamit or Shozy Store. TH for Titanium Hanger. Let me know what you think. Titanium Hanger out.